We've been telling you about federal workers across the country who've lost their jobs because of cuts from the Trump administration and Elon Musk's government efficiency efforts. CBS 6's Tom Eschen talked to some of those workers from right here in the Capital Region, and they explain what they want to see happen now.
Yeah, it was emotional at times today as these workers talked about the shock of getting fired. In many cases, say they had never had a bad performance review, yet they were told they were fired because of performance. Speaking out today because they believe it'll have an impact on the American people.
I was one of the core staff, so, they've had to cut quite a bit.
Kareem is a now former nonprofit employee for an organization that was funded by USAID.
And it was very traumatic just watching this international organization that does so much good for the world have to shrink.
Jackie, one of 200 laid off last week at the Veterans Health Administration at the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs.
The work that just my program alone does is all about keeping the doctors, the nurses, the other clinicians that are providing healthcare services to our veterans. I don't understand that.
She says she's unemployed for the first time in 30 years, and her household income has been cut in half. She says Democrats need to do more than like what they did at the president's address, holding up signs.
And I really believe that the time for polite discourse and doing the things that worked in saner times is no longer effective. I think that there are thousands of us who are confused, angry, scared, and hungry for leadership that is going to point us in the right direction.
Do you think the 10 Democrats who voted to censure him are enabling this administration? They're placating it? Because they went along with the censuring, despite the fact Marjorie Taylor Greene wasn't censured, as you were just referencing?
Yeah, I think if these other standards that haven't been, if these other breaks from standards haven't been addressed, they would be there too, regardless of political persuasion.
Meanwhile, Republicans defending the approach to root out what they're calling fraud and waste.
Hopefully yielding the kind of results that we want to see, which is a government that's more effective, more efficient, modernized.
Matt is a former federal employee with the U.S. Department of Agriculture, helping provide resources like housing grants or emergency services to rural communities. He was asked if he thinks his job wasn't efficient.
I find it difficult to envision a scenario in which case fraud would occur on one of these particular underground programs.
The full roundtable is on our YouTube page, CBS 6 Albany. Tom Eschen, CBS 6 News, here in the studio.